Good evening. The presidential election this fall is going to be different than any election in modern history. While we are battling the COVID pandemic and expect to be in a better position by the fall, we cannot ignore the fact that it still will be a factor in the way millions of you will want to vote in November. Some of you will not want to submit yourself to exposure out of concern for contracting the virus, or because you have an underlying health condition, or you'll want to limit your exposure out of respect for a loved one. We understand. Many states are going to be launching massive vote-from-home programs. But if this is not done carefully, we open ourselves to the possibility of massive fraud, delays, and confusion. One of the founding principles of our democracy is a fair and free election. We cannot allow this principle to be compromised. Without it, we have no democracy. We have no country. So in order to preserve our sovereignty as a nation and the sanctity of our voting process, here's what we're going to do. We are working with all 50 states and territories to put an extensive plan in place to ensure your safety at the polls on Election Day. This includes additional polling locations to help keep crowds down, a strict mask-wearing policy in and around all voting locations, sanitation regulations with additional volunteers to wipe down each station between voters and all surfaces every hour. Plus, a dramatic expansion of early voting hours so you can cast your ballot days before the general election, avoiding the crowds. And for those of you who wish to avoid the polls altogether, we are adding capacity at all U.S. post offices to make sure ballots are delivered in a timely manner. There will be secure ballot box drop-off stations near you with a website where you can find the one closest to you. We are also creating a bipartisan task force to make sure all ballots are validated properly before being counted. This task force will also be working with our top cybersecurity technicians in Homeland Security to make sure our counting system is bulletproof from any outside tinkering from our adversaries. So I am here to tell you tonight, we are way out in front of this, and we'll be testing these processes thoroughly before Election Day. We are faced with this never-before unique situation, and we will need to have patience and let the system work. And it will work. We are working with every state to make sure things run as smooth as possible. So cast your vote and cast it with confidence. Voting in America is not a privilege. It's your right. And your government is here to help you exercise that right. Thank you, and good night.